we have a very interesting history of the people that are here that don't earn an income and don't spend money. That's another interesting project.
That's part of the fun of it, part of what makes it real, you know? And if you want to come and come shop at the thrift store, then, you know, you might have to see a bum, and they're just human too, you know?
You know, it's life, and it's part of an urban reality, and we are an urban reality.
I'm sure it's not rosy every day to be a merchant out there.
A lot of urban legends about you can't leave Caruso's without being stabbed to death by hordes of gutter punks. I've heard that from any number of people.
That kind of thing kept getting on the front page of the papers.
I've never been stabbed by a gutter punk that I can remember.
We do kind of have our own little red light district in Tucson, you know, our own little place where things can happen that are countercultural.
Is it safe down there? You know, they'd call me up on the phone, is it safe down there? And I was like, yeah, I grew up here. This is fine down here. I've never had a problem, you know? And we never had a problem with any homeless.
If the people that live in the outlying areas of Tucson don't want to come to 4th Avenue, that's okay.
If you make it antiseptic, if you cleanse 4th Avenue of poor people, of homeless people, it's going to become like an urban yuppie ghetto, and with no soul. It'll be antiseptic.
You get every walk of life, every culture, every type of person that you could even imagine, and nobody looks twice. I mean, there's a girl walking down the street with green spikes sticking out of her head, and you know, you don't even blink twice at her because it's 4th Avenue. Anything goes.
Maybe that's what makes 4th Avenue different than downtowns in other cities like Tempe, where that Mill Avenue place is.
I would have no problem like thinking of a loved one walking up and down 4th Avenue on their own. Like, to me, it's not scary like that.
I'd be more scared downtown.
I have met people who spend time on 4th Avenue that will not go downtown. They're scared of it, but that's fine.
Well, I actually worked in the downtown area during the decline. Nothing was there anymore. There was a point where downtown was really, really derelict. I mean, it was scary. If you didn't leave downtown, you were dead.
Absolutely. One more crossing, and he's coming at it right now. 2 more blows. If you go back in time, when they built the malls in Tucson in the 50s, 60s, it caused the death of downtown as most people knew it. All the retail left. When I took over as mayor, we had some of our greatest cultural, architectural facilities boarded up. Fox Theater, the Depot, Rialto. The restoration of the heart of the city is a project called Rio Nuevo.
Rio Nuevo.
Yeah, Rio Nuevo.
Well,
got a couple hours?
Rio Nuevo.
Oh, man.
I don't think anybody knows.
Ooh, it's a debacle.
Lots of good ideas. Lots of good ideas.
It seemed like every time they took a step forward, they would take 2 steps back.
It's a song and dance.
The whole direction, you know.
It has good intentions, and we all know what the road to hell is paved with.
In my mind, it's about gentrification.
Great idea. Fabulous idea. Sometimes, wow, that'd be great.
The aquarium and the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh, hey, here's another one. That'd be wow, if they did that, that'd be terrific.
They were dreaming.
My first thoughts are that we were awash in money.
You know, the first idea they had, I don't know how many years ago, that was a great idea, and they poured a bunch of millions into it.
Tax increment financing.
All I knew is they had a lot of money to spend.
Borrow monies for the future generations of tax revenues.
So they spent it, but it just kept spinning wheels.
I think it's beyond our control.
And that next one they poured a bunch of millions into, that was, wow, that would have been fabulous.
A lot of people are just worn out. They're tired of excuses.
Who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know what they're doing, but they're great ideas. Beautiful stuff that would love to see actually get built.
In this office, a lot of people say, well, Rio Nuevo, nothing's happening. I said, what? Are you crazy? When was the last time you were downtown? Oh, I never go downtown. It's too dangerous.
All that money has been poured into downtown. With really very little to show for it.
I don't mind people saying I don't see anything yet, but the 4th Avenue underpass is part of it. If we didn't have the 4th Avenue underpass, there would be no connection between 4th Avenue and downtown. And it was designed to link them together, to get the light, the modern streetcar to come through.
The mayor will claim that the improvement of the railroad station and kicking all those people out of the building that was the Martin Luther King building and making condos out of it is part of the improvement.
The renovations, the Fox, and the renovation of the depot, and the renovations of buildings in the downtown area is underway.
I saw A Hard Day's Night at the Fox Theater in 65. I mean, I remember going to the Fox and seeing movies back in the old days. So the day that I walked into it after it had been refurbed, I mean, that really did my heart good.
Meanwhile, Congress Hotel, Richard Oseron has been building up that hotel. They have events going on all the time. He's sunk all his money into Maynard's in the railroad station. He's taken that over. And the mayor will take credit for all of that, that's all part of Rio Nuevo.
The area of Congress Tool is the hottest spot in the United States for entertainment today.
I went to one of the first meetings. I could tell by the people that were at the meeting who were going to plan all this stuff that everybody had their own fantasy that they might not work together because they were too important to work with each other.
Just that they seemed like they spent all the money on figuring stuff out and didn't spend any money on doing anything. That's my opinion.
There are some things to show for it, but obviously not enough for the amount that's been invested.
Oh, I tell you, downtown in Rio Nuevo, it's been worth the money, the investment. And cleaning up, we had a landfill that we had to clean up, so we had to invest in that. We have set the stage for $1 billion worth of investments in the downtown area.
I think it means that some people are going to make a lot of money, and a bunch of other more poor people are likely to get displaced. The gentrification process is something that happens in cities all around the country. We organize in these barrios so that we don't get run over by, quote, progress.
We got it ready to go. Next 10 years you're going to see the investment. But it's going to be the private sector that will come because of the investment we've made in the infrastructure and preparing for them.
Those good intentions of bringing business and revitalizing take a back seat to who's going to profit the most. Money takes over.
If I remember correctly, and it's been quite a while now, there were some specific things that were in those bond proposals that we all voted on back those years ago, and things kind of morphed a little bit.
In the meantime, they've let somebody go who was supposed to be in charge of having it all move smoothly, and he's gone. But now he's back, and he's getting $100 an hour to some more.
I think it's a mess, and I don't think they see the importance of really looking at this avenue and seeing how strong it is. And really, it'd be nice if the city council actually talked to the owners and say, how are you guys making this work?
We've been living Rio Nuevo since the day I moved to 4th Avenue and perpetuating ourselves, building ourselves, cleaning our sidewalks, planting our trees. We already have our Rio Nuevo, and if downtown gets Rio Nuevo, then we will just carry on and be one big fluid Rio Nuevo.
So much of the money that could have reasonably gone into some hard and fast brick and mortar down there has evaporated.
My business partner said that she wished that the money that went to Rio Nuevo had gone to the 4th Avenue Merchants Association, that they would have put it to excellent use.
I think some of that money was spent on just needless things, but, you know, who am I, man? I just print T-shirts, you know?
I was away from Tucson for 4 years. I lived in San Antonio. When I came back, I was amazed at all the devastation was wrought to downtown, all the buildings that were gone, all the ravages of the Rio Nuevo project, and it's almost unrecognizable.
Tucson's known for its kind of color and funkiness and diversity, and having a lot of old historical buildings. You're just gonna, get rid of all the colorful, funky, beautiful architecture that should be preserved forever. And I think the soul is truly the Mexican culture.
I remember when the Greyhound bus station was where the community center is now, and they tore down the entire barrio. And at the time it was, let's just knock all this stuff down and build this huge thing, which in retrospect, man, there was a lot of other places that they could have built that. And I think that those principles can be applied to what's happened with Rio Nuevo as well.
The downtown preservation plan that we got the majority of the city council to endorse before the voters voted on it in 1997 included things like that barrio preservation, that there be money for low-income housing, that the housing being built was not only yuppie housing. I've lived and worked here at the Casa Maria Catholic Worker House for the last, 27 years, since 1983. We, by default, have ended up doing the largest free kitchen in town.
And it's a soup kitchen. Basically, I volunteer there. I've done it for about, 7 years, 8 years now.
We beg the money to do this. We exist entirely on private donations.
But it's open for anybody and everybody who wants to come and get something. There's no strings attached.
And that's good because no city councilman, mayor, congressman can tell me to shut up because he's going to pull the money. I'm accountable to the people of Tucson who are real generous, who give us money, who give us food, who give us clothes, etc., etc.
Would you consider yourself a local leader?
Yeah, I'm one of many local leaders. Tucson is blessed. There's a tradition of activism and a democratic tradition where people do organize over justice issues.
What we do, we go up to City Hall, to the City Council, and demand from them. We're on the phone on top of them. We're there, we're personally there all the meetings and make sure that they don't pull a fast one on the working people. It's about going to the City Council and putting pressure on them, calling them, and organizing the whole community, taking hundreds of people there. In fact, the last time we had about 500 people there in protest, and the protest was, I think it was part of gentrification and it was affordable housing, so we do pretty well. When we show up, they know who we are and they know our cause, and we just don't show up once a year. We're always on top of them.
One of the main things that's happened in the last year is there's affordable housing at this place called the Coronado Hotel on the corner of 4th Avenue and 9th Street that provides 42 units of affordable housing for older people. Yeah, there was a plan to sell it off because it's right on the new line of the modern streetcar. How do I cash in and make a buck? I throw the poor people out of the Coronado and convert it into something more yuppie. So we're going to keep that fight up because if the downtown gets totally yuppified, it'll spread like a cancer to the south, and historic families and historic barrios will experience changes that are good for people with money and bad for people with not a lot of money. And ultimately, it'll get down here to Casa Maria and get rid of us. And when you do that, you're crucifying poor people and homeless people who come here to eat and survive, to live, to fight another day.
When you say Tucson to anybody, oh, they said, oh, that's where all the good weather, it's the Cowboys, John Wayne, that's all that stuff. And it's a small little place down near the border in Arizona. I said, well, it's 550,000 people. Can't be that big, right? See, that's the quality of the city of Tucson. It has that feel of the past. A very important part of our economic base is arts and culture, and protecting that as we move forward. The thing I hate to see is cities that kind of leave that aside. They kind of go modern because that's what we're supposed to be. Here was 4th Avenue, and it gained a reputation of being really a cool place. I go down there because I enjoy eating breakfast down on 4th Avenue. I enjoy seeing the people. It's a fun people watching place. They know me by the mayor rides through there on his bicycle on a regular basis. It is an icon of the city, and it's a place people love to go. The people that are going to have opportunity at 4th Avenue in the future, coming from more infill and more vertical growth alternative to sprawl, I think the business opportunity for the future is extraordinary for the 4th Avenue. And with that comes the possibility of new things that are going to be showing up, and a great opportunity. I think the future for those guys is tremendous. The relationship between 4th Avenue has always been extraordinarily good. They were included in all these decisions that are being now made about the future of downtown, and they're part of downtown. They're included in all those discussions.
But the city has never, ever treated 4th Avenue like it's part of the Arts District. The Arts District to them starts at the Congress Hotel.
And we really appreciate their input.
Make this the beehive of Tucson. Make this actually an example, you know?
And I will say, to like the city's credit, they're starting it. Like they're getting the trolley system. They're trying.
I don't think the businesses here that have been here a while feel it gets any support from the city. We're not asking for any support. So I don't know if we asked for it, if it would be there or not.
Years ago, we felt bad. Like, gee whiz, they don't do anything for us. But now we see it's a blessing in disguise.
So thank God they didn't take care of us, because look at downtown, And we took care of our own and did a pretty good job of it on all levels.
In terms of sort of a commitment to maintaining this as it is, I don't know if that's there.
Possibly despite the city, some of the time, 4th Avenue flourishes. And I think that's to some degree because of the 4th Avenue Merchants Association.
Well, the city is always very interested in our success because, of course, we bring in a lot of sales tax. Our events bring in lots of people from all over the country and even internationally.
4th Avenue Fair twice a year, and hundreds of thousands of people who have heard about it and love to come down and shop, and we close down the street.
Any musician could just play and know that the rule was to play for 20 minutes and move on to another location where there weren't any musicians.
I made a brief and ill-fated foray into street performing. I did it at the 4th Avenue Street Fair, and I played about 2 or 3 minutes, and a shop owner came out and gave me $10 to move up the street. So I thought I'd go back every year and stand in front of a store, but he went out of business afterwards.
So he serves him right.
Yep.
You showed him.
But now you have to pay $40 to get one spot, and you're lucky if you get in. where before it was just a real relaxed, you know, everything, anything can go, and it was just so entertaining.
And I remember when they first discovered that they're starting to use credit card machines in the booths, you know, that just seemed like, wait a minute, this has evolved into big business.
You know, and it's just like, this is not what the street fair used to be.
It is a wonderful moneymaker for the city. I can absolutely assure you of that. If you're an active market, the chains look at you and say, oh boy, we better rush down there and have a part in this whole game. But sooner or later, it's driven by how we shop and what we do.
I'm politically a Jeffersonian. I believe in what we do is going to have the most impact locally. What we do here and how we spend our money affects each and every one of us. And if you're spending your money at a Starbucks, that money's gone. That money is not going to come back to Tucson. Yeah, granted, it employs a few people, but so do the independently owned shops. That money stays here.
I would rather buy a book here at Antigone's Books across the street than to go to like Borders or Barnes & Noble.
And the truth is you can find those chains in a lot of other places, so please do.
In the shops on 4th Avenue, it's a completely different mindset than if you've got corporate telling you what to do. You know, it makes for a different scene. It makes for a different vibe.
If you go down and they have some rusted wall mashed up, they're like, okay, cool. It's part of the area here. It's fine. It doesn't take as much to fix it up. I think they can get away with it a little easier than some of the corporate world's could.
When we were measuring the space out and thinking about how we were going to put in the bookshelves and how we were going to make it work, we had a guy come in and he built the shelves for us and he measured everything and he came back ready to build the shelves. And then he goes, oh my God, I cut every piece of wood evenly. I swear to God I did. He was really upset and he thought we were going to be furious because the bookshelves are not exactly even. And we said, well, you know, it's 4th Avenue. What are you going to do? But there's nothing to do. The floor's not even, the ceiling's not even, nothing's even in this building.
Well, maybe I should modernize. Maybe my business could stand some modernization. That'd be a real challenge, but it's almost inevitable.
So they'd have to almost tear things down to build something that would fit a larger corporate image. And that's a big investment. And if they did that, I think it would destroy the avenue.
The main gate area of the university has really modernized itself. There's been a lot of capital investment going in. There's been several hotels. There's going to be more hotels. There's going to be more high-rise residents because of closeness to the university. I hope that 4th Avenue doesn't necessarily go that way. But it's up to the merchants and it's up to the owners that they don't grab that bait.
I've had some large chains approach me and make offers that were not acceptable after being in business 35 years.
I'm sure there are forces out there that are going,
I would find it hard to believe that there hasn't been an offer made somewhere over time for a corporate entity to move in here.
Well, I don't fear it succumbing to growth. I think they've got it and they understand it, but there is going to be change. I can assure you.
It may be inevitable because it certainly has been inevitable every place else. I mean, I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years, and you've got, you know, a Gap just a block away from Haight-Ashbury and stuff, and Santa Cruz on Pacific Avenue right there. You've got this huge Borders and stuff, and they would fight, you know, in towns like that, you know, which are very left-wing. They would fight to keep these people out, but you can only fight it for so long, and those guys can afford to stay in business, lose money long enough to drive everybody else out, you know, which is a real shame.
A friend whose family had a farm in Pennsylvania and, you know, as happens to farms all over the place, decided to sell it for huge amounts of money to a developer who is putting up a housing development. And it's just very sad. And it's the same thing, you know, that can happen in a lot of different levels, different places, that there's a lot lost.
Most of us that are in this, quote, owner-occupied situation, we're all maturing, you know, and somebody could sell their building. and that could shift it.
You know, what if you're just doing great and all of a sudden, you know, some large corporation wants to take over that 5,000 square feet that you're in, and the landlord's going, you.
Boom, you know, so if we have nothing set up to, you know, foster a sense of community, then the chains are going to take over. The money's going to take over, and they're going to usurp everything, and then it's going to be just another cookie cutter street, and it's not going to be 4th Avenue anymore. It'll be by name only.
I certainly hope it would not be the death knell, but hard to say. I mean, it would just be so incongruous to see something like that. But you know what? Hey, you know, think about it. That Dairy Queen's been on the corner for how long? Dairy Queen's part of a chain.
We always stop at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure how to define the Dairy Queen.
If Dairy Queen is your biggest corporate entity, I can live with that, and I think most people can.
There's a rumor, that there's a guy who's buying the block where the Dairy Queen is right now and wants to build some swanky condominiums,
But yay for Dairy Queen won't sell.
You can really see how the university has spread out of its boundaries kind of into the boundaries of the city's downtown.
You didn't have the feeling that there was much individual creativity.
That they had a little gold mine in downtown Tempe, and that what they should do is exploit it.
The only economic model that our city council seemed to understand is one based on shopping.
When you start exploiting something that exists, that's working, then that's exactly what you get, which is exploitation and ultimately demise.
And to blow it to this extreme just blows my mind.
Incentives actually have warped the market so that our downtown turned from the mom and pop businesses that were here to those large corporate organizations.
There were new properties built that were not in scale to the ones that were already there.
We're going more vertical to focus on bringing as many residents into the downtown as possible.
It's cliche to say it, but we're losing part of our soul. What made it cool isn't there anymore. It's like somebody came in with a pressure washer and sprayed everybody away.
Even down in Tucson, you walk 4th Avenue, you walk the neighborhoods by the University of Arizona, and you know that you're in Tucson, Arizona. And we just don't have that same feeling here.
Yeah, I remember Mill Avenue from the 80s. I remember when ZR Records got its start there. And that was before anything, any movie theaters, any corporate stuff. I remember seeing the bands there, for sure.
But nowadays, it's, you know, it's either you do covers in the Phoenix area or you just can't really pursue a musical career out here.
And my friend and I, we used to hitchhike from Sunny Slope all the way out to, just we go to Mill Avenue and hang out at go to the cool place, go to the Valley Art Theater and go to all the places around there, and that would be inconceivable now.
30 years ago, they were sister streets. They were the same.
From that time period, I guess a lot of the musicians here in Tucson that you have heard of come from Phoenix. They have escaped that.
Completely lost everything that was positive about it. It's just out the window. And I didn't really realize all these places had now closed down and stuff, which is really sad because that's the way those guys operate. You know, they just come in, as soon as the bottom line is gone, they move on someplace else, you know.
Why would you want to turn this into Mill Avenue?
I don't want 4th Avenue to turn into what Mill Avenue is becoming in a way, because it has a really bad, you know, distinction of, you know, that corporate store or something gone corporate.
Shops come and go on 4th Avenue all the time, but the ambiance remains, and we would hope that it would remain, but when you have people saying that you have to give in to change, it almost perpetuates the change.
We do not want to be like Phoenix. It's a unique city, and that's okay. But we want to keep the uniqueness of Tucson. And I think we're a great city, better in many ways than Phoenix. I think most people would say the same thing.
And in Tucson, you just don't come in here with a whole bunch of money and get your way. You know, you're gonna like have to fight.
In Phoenix, you have the high-powered jobs. In Phoenix, you can make a lot of money. Tucson isn't that kind of community. And it's drawing on young people from all over. And they are creative and they have open hearts. And I think that all of that is absolutely intimate to what this community is. You know, and in the music, in the art. You know, and they are here for the life. They are here for the quality of life, not necessarily the money. You know, it doesn't exist in many places.
I think if you've got a place that has an identity like 4th Avenue does for Tucson, I think it's worth preserving.
If Tucson's future were a movie title, what would be the subtitle? What would be the movie's description?
It's been a very interesting journey.
It happened here first. We're recognized as a great community. And it happened here first.
I pray to God we just don't lose the vibe, you know, the hometown vibe, because it's just so easy for Tucson to ultimately wind up looking like every other middle-sized million-person city in America.
Tucson. Its vitality is derived from its long and substantial history, its culture, and artists. Tucson's history, culture, and art has been greatly influenced by Mexican Americans who have called Tucson home for hundreds of years. Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is celebrated November of each year. This celebration is highlighted by the 4th Avenue All Souls Procession. It is an event that was created by a collective of artists and community activists to serve the public need to reflect, mourn, and celebrate the universal experience of time The intent is to create, inspire, and perpetuate a modern festal culture, an expression and fulfillment of the core human need for public celebration, ceremony, and ritual.
Là où tu vas, mon amour, on te recevra comme moi. Ces bras qui vont t'accueillir, ces bras seront les miens. À la fonte des neiges, les corps émergent, les corps glissent vers la vallée. À la terre, le sel, à l'amour, la cayenne, nos blessures et aux bouches, à tes voyages, mon amour. À la terre, le sel, à l'amour, la cayenne, nos blessures et aux bouches, à tes voyages, mon amour.
Having a diversity is really important.
The coordinated actions of this diverse community makes it great.
I love Tucson. It's like that small, big city.
What comes across is that spirit of collaboration.
4th Avenue is resisting the New World Order, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Là où tu vas, mon amour, moi je n'y viendrai pas. Là où je suis, mon amour, je penserai à toi.
Sometimes these things get taken for granted, and that's not how it should be, man. People should really appreciate it.
Wouldn't want to be in any other city. I want to be here on 4th Avenue.
We feel, that we are the keepers of the soul of Tucson.
À la terre, le sel, à l'amour, la cayenne, aux blessures et aux bouches, à tes voyages, mon amour. À la terre, le sel, à l'amour, la cayenne, aux blessures et aux bouches, à tes voyages, mon amour.
The men and women who have cast their destinies with Tucson and who have grown wealthy here in one currency or another are currently the guardians of her destiny. They will use their abilities and vision to ensure that she does become as great, as prosperous and beautiful as both natural and human resources can make her.
Lots of stuff to make our dreams come true. A second house for summer, a BMW. So complete, find meaning and the goal. These are the things, yeah, that substitute for soul. And I say no, 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 ridiculous. No, 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 ridiculous. Advertising feeds us dreams, describes reality. Even a poor soul like me can find equality. Unfamiliar concept, see the forest for the trees. Upheaval are coming, good for all of us to see. And I said, no, 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 ridiculous. No, 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 ridiculous. Clear the rocks, spoil the child, apple of my eye. Elvis has lived the building We all need lots of stuff to make our dreams come true. A second house for summer, a BMW. So complete, find meaning indigo. These are good things, yeah, that substitute for soul. And I said, no, 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 ridiculous. No, 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 ridiculous. No, 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 ridiculous. No, 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 ridiculous.
Welcome to my home, no fear of pneumonia. This is paradise, it's Tucson, Arizona. Hawaii's got surfing, we got cactus. LA's got Hollywood, we got cactus. New York's got nightlife, we got cactus. Florida's got beaches, we got cactus. Hawaii's got surfing, we got cactus. LA's got Hollywood, we got cactus. New York's got nightlife, we got cactus. Florida's got beaches, and we got cactus.